So we came down to Taichung and there's a street that's called the Painted Mural Street or Painted Animation Lane, and there's all these animated characters painted on the walls. So we're going to go for a walk down here now. So Taichung's not exactly a tourist destination type thing, but we thought we'd come down here and take a look and break up the trip through to Puli. So we're just out at the Yuan Temple and there's just been some crackers going off and we're going to go for a walk around. We're in Puli and there's no public transport around here, so this is going to be a bit of fun getting back as well. So our next stop on our tour of Puli is the Taichung brewery in Puli, which does like rice wine and that kind of thing. So we're going to go inside now and have a little look. It's quite cool outside. They've got all these little pots and that kind of thing that go around the outside, and yeah, let's go have a look. And it's about a 1k walk from our hotel, so yeah, a little bit of a walk, but that's okay.
Bottle right here is about 16 liters and it is 460,000 Taiwanese dollars and at 52% alcohol, and you can see that the bottle is well decorated, and I'm trying to work out how to bring it back home.
So just behind us here, this is the start of the brewing process, and they've got these trays where they start to ferment the rice, because it's rice wine obviously. And then if we take a walk along, we then get around to these big trays, these big pools almost that they pump the material into, and then walking on through it then goes into some big vats for further fermentation, and then further round even more fermentation vats in behind us. So these are big vats in here, and then around to some of the packaging equipment where they draw it off the big vats and into some of the packages. And then they've got bottling and canning.
Very advanced.
And then they've got all sorts of decorative bottles and that kind of thing. And round into the shop area. So at the distillery slash brewery, there's an upstairs area with a museum, and the production of wine here dates back about 2,000 to 3,000 years, or as many as, back to the Dutch occupation. And I thought this was really interesting that there's a set of old metal scales here. So as a scientist, that really fascinated me. So some of the old scientific scales from Metla, so they obviously last quite a while. And there's a whole big area that runs you through the history. That dates back to some of the rice farming, Dutch occupation, Japanese occupation, and they brewed sake for the Japanese market as well. And there's some of their old microscope. So yeah, that's pretty cool. A couple of old microscopes would have been used for their yeast, I'm guessing. So yeah, that's pretty cool history. So it's really interesting. At the end of some of the history area, they've got these big panels that outline some of the nutritional value of the rice wine, because it's got vitamins and sugars and dextrans, and it's liquid bread apparently. So yeah, it's good for you. And there's some info on making of the bottles as well. And these urns. And some of the different patterns on them. So yeah, they used to make all these by hand. And you've got this whole big tunnel with all the urns. So we have like round 20 on the Stinky Tofu. Someone has decided that they love the Stinky Tofu. So please fill me in. Why the Stinky Tofu? Sorry, too busy with the camera clearly. Why the Stinky Tofu?
When I was growing up as a boy back in Malaysia, like we watched a lot of Cantonese movies recorded in Hong Kong, and I grew up watching like people eating Tao Tofu, which is stinky tofu, and so I've always wanted to try it as a kid. Unfortunately, when we made a trip to Hong Kong a few years ago, like a lot of the hawker stand where the Stinky Tofu can be found, like no longer kind of like readily available in Hong Kong. So when we went, all those food did not really exist, even though I was kind of looking for it. So my dad told me that Taiwan is the only place nowadays that actually has the Stinky Tofu a lot more readily. I'm sure there's other places as well. And sure enough, that's true, because every single city that we have been to so far has this Tao Tofu. And this would be our 5th or 6th dish, like Stinky Tofu. And they're all slightly different. And so, like, if you ever come to Taiwan, like, you really not just eat one. Like, you have to, as every city you go to, you should try it, because they all cook it with some variation. And this particular one looks amazing. It is the biggest one out of all that we have eaten so far. So I'm really ecstatic and want to try this.
So they serve all the Stinky Tofu with this like pickled cabbage, and the pickled cabbage, I actually quite like the pickled cabbage, I think, more than the Stinky Tofu. So
Garnish.
yeah, garnish it may be, but it tastes good, so I'm not complaining. And these are massive, God, massive freaking slices of tofu. And it's not super stinky. They all taste a little bit different, but yeah, not super stinky. And it's, yeah, it gives a bit of a tang to the tofu. So if you like kimchi or sauerkraut or something like that, then yeah, it's not too bad.
Dumpling just arrived. It's pork dumpling, and then we also ordered the radish and pork rib soup. It looks yummy.
Oh. So the night markets in Puli are not hugely busy. It's pretty quiet down here. It's the Fish Mart night markets in Puli. But we did find this place that does dumplings and soup, so we're going to give those a try. It's a radish type soup and it's quite clear. So the soup is pretty clear. It's got some, looks like coriander and that kind of thing in it. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of radish, but it's, yeah, pork and radish, so that's nice.
I chose this coconut coated kind of like cake. Don't know what's inside. Can't read Chinese.
So we got this cake thing. It looks like wafers with a meringue type filling and some dried fruit and some nuts or something like that. So we're going to give this a try. But rather than going in all at once, I'm going to try it in a couple of different layers. Pastry wafer with a creamy sort of eggy sort of thing and some dried fruit. It's actually really nice. We got this one from the Puli brewery today. It came in a nice little red box and it's got funky writing on the side. Apparently it's rice wine, but it's got this cool little picture on the side as well. So I think that's pretty cool. So we're gonna have a look at this.
It's a bottle unwrapping.
Yep, bottle unwrapping, that's the one. It's well sealed, which I like. And, oh, is it screw? I don't think it's screw. I think it's a...
It either could be really, really good or could be really, really bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It's either going to be really good or has the potential to be terrible.
Oh, it's quite good. It's fruity.
You're right, it is fruity. It's not what I expected. You're right, it tastes like wine, but not.
It's rice wine.
It's some sort of random mix between wine and beer. Which is quite random. Not what I expected, but it's nice. It's a bit fruity, but a bit grainy and malty and, yeah, not fizzy, but it's like wine, so it's interesting.
What would you say? Is it good?
It is good. I think it's probably an I'd say acquired taste. It's not, but I'm really used to drinking normal grape wine, so, and it's not that, so.
Probably about like...
And it's not like, it's sort of, it's got a tinge of maybe a sake type flavour because of the rice, but it's, yeah.
We'll find out whether it's
54%
alcohol. Maybe it's not that high, maybe it's 12.
No, it's normal wine, you can taste it, it's not spirits drink, it's
about
only normal
12, I
wine,
reckon.
so it's a little bit stronger than normal wine though.
Okay.
so you wouldn't want to drink too much of it.